Well, obviously on the day that we start filming, we are getting new lighting in the gym too. That's just how my life is. It's like I plan one thing and something else falls on the same day. So, my name is Dan Petkovsek. I own a gym called Torque Barbell in Toronto. I've been competing in powerlifting for 17 years now. I started when I was 15, 16, and I'm 32. I got into lifting initially when I was 13, playing hockey, and I broke my back, my lower back. It was when they still had touch icing in hockey, and we were going down to the end of the ice to touch the puck, and I got tripped about 5 feet from the boards. That's essentially where I got introduced to weightlifting and deadlifts and squats and strengthening, basically my whole posterior chain, because I was young enough where the doctors had told my parents, you don't necessarily need surgery, we can try the physiotherapy and see how your body takes and heals, and I was still growing and everything. So I did physiotherapy at the hospital. Thankfully, I was able to essentially heal myself. Now, I've had lower back problems ever since, but I was able to avoid surgery. So that's how I got into weightlifting, I guess, or the more strength side of it, with the deadlifts and the squats. We're going to be deadlifting today, me and Nico. We are 5 weeks out from a competition in Philadelphia, and this is the first time that I've competed in 5 years. You know, he's really been pushing it, but for myself, I've had a few injuries. I've had a pec tear, I've had a bicep tear, quad tear. I started a family, we went through a pandemic, and I'm ready to get back on the platform, so that's what we're doing today. When I was 15, I started working at a fitness equipment store, and the owner of that store, his name was Joe Peacock. He was a 3-time national champion. He had competed at the World Championships. He kind of took me under his wing and taught me the ropes of squat, bench, and deadlift. We would start work at 10 a.m., so we would show up at the gym at 8:30, and we work out for about an hour and a half and then go to work together. Again, that's kind of where I got my roots of powerlifting, was learned through him.
Tell us about training with Dan.
Well, it's fucking hard. Like, normally if I train on my own, I push myself, and sometimes I like it because it's just like you and yourself and the weights. But most of the time it's just like we tell each other the weight, then we go up, and it's like being taken under like an apprentice kind of thing. That's the biggest thing I found. Like, you just learn a lot in each session I've done with them. Back in the day, I saw him and Brett and Rodrigo. They trained together all the time, and seeing that was pretty amazing. Just as a kid, and now like getting to at least have the fortunate opportunity to train with them, it's pretty awesome.
When I was, I guess 17, I joined a powerlifting gym. It was a small garage gym in the east side of Toronto called the Anvil, and that was a pretty rough place. It was 10 guys crammed into a single car garage. In the summer it was like 40 degrees, and in the winter it was like minus 15. It was hard to train, and it was a really good learning experience for me to see that it's not for show. We weren't doing it for any Instagram or social media or any fame or anything like that. It was literally to get stronger and get better. From there, when I was, I guess 19 or 20, I went down to Westside Barbell. I was working as an intern at a gym called Superior Athletics with Travis Bell, who was a Westside Barbell athlete. So I drove down, I stayed in a motel for 2 weeks. I learned how to train people from Travis, and he brought me to Westside, and I got to experience Westside in all its glory, and it was a really eye-opening experience, and I think kind of a life-changing experience for me. At that point, I had already competed at the national championships, which I had won when I was 19. I did my first competition when I was 16 or 17, and I had done 2 in between. So at that point, I had done 4 competitions, going down to Westside, which is the pinnacle of powerlifting. Like, you don't, if you want to go to the top place, you go to Westside. I learned their methods. I learned how to improve my own training. When I came home, I had just gotten certified for personal training. I had dropped out of high school. My parents had sent me to a private school so I could graduate. And so I essentially just started working after that. You know, school wasn't really big for me. I brought what I learned from Travis and the mindset and the work ethic and the intensity of Westside. And that's how I started to train my clients. And then from there, that grew over the next 3.5 years. I was on CBC Hockey Night in Canada, training hockey players. I was doing CFL scouting combines for football players. I was doing boot camps at 6 a.m. for moms and dads and people in the neighborhood. And it just grew and grew. And myself and 4 other guys, we were renting a small automotive garage, which then after 3.5 years, we had about 120 clients between us, and that's when I opened Torque. I was 23 years old at this point. That's how the gym and the mentality of the no nonsense, the no gimmicks. We don't have air conditioning in here. We got heat in the winter, but it's cold. Like, you know, Kevin, it's cold in the winters. I think my experiences as a teenager, both from what I experienced in the gym and the mentors that I had in powerlifting, as well as the work ethic that I learned from my parents and my family growing up, that's where my mentality for powerlifting came from. And to be honest, powerlifting has taught me so much in terms of dedication, commitment, grit, you know, working through injuries, working around injuries. And I've made some of my best friends through this sport. You know, you could say I met my wife through the sport, because I met my wife at the gym, which I opened because of my love for the sport. So for me, powerlifting is deeper than doing it as a hobby or doing it for personal records or doing it for any other reason. Than it's something inside of me that I will do it till the day I die. Easy. I've had all these things kind of happen over the years. I started a family. We have a daughter. She's 1.5 years old, which anybody who has kids, you know that there's a lot of sleepless nights. On top of that, going through the pandemic and the gym reopening, I figured, you know what? Now is the time to get back on the platform and do what I've been doing for the past 17 years of my life. And I'm excited for it. Felt good. That's up 10 pounds from last week and for an extra rep. And kind of gives me the confidence, because I tore my bicep last summer and I haven't really been doing the mixed grip. I've been doing everything hook, and I felt like I couldn't get my grip set. So trying to build my confidence to be able to pull there. And that's what I needed that today. I'm going into this with a mindset of I'm going to do what I can on the day and do it because I love the sport. And the sport has given so much to me that I can't just not do it now. You know, I've put in a couple weeks of training. I have the mindset. I have everything, you know, in me to do this competition, and I can't fucking wait.